See, at least now I have something to look forward to, and that I watch Total Divas, and then I watch Total Divas. So we have 2 weeks, we'll double the Total Divas to talk about.
It's going to be great.
And I'm excited because this week Lana's been tweeting things, and it sounds like it's about like her fighting with Rusev's mom over like the direction of their wedding, and I'm like, yes.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yes.
Well, there's a little preview too on WWE.
Yeah, there's been some previews
about a stranger at the Miz's
house.
The
break-in happens that we were talking about last time.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And then there's also, we got to talk a little bit about Lana and all things Lana because she's been a busy bee.
She's awesome.
She's working really hard. She's wrestling right now, so
that's so cool.
She's been wrestling at NXT shows, so I want to talk about that.
Cool.
I actually just tweeted her today.
That's awesome.
MBWS Twitter. We'll talk. It's funny. I think I made a funny tweet, and I hope that she appreciates it because I thought it was funny. And we'll see. I don't know. Okay. She probably gets a lot, but okay. So I'm gonna publish this, and then we'll be good to go. Well, I guess I could share it in our group. So I'm just gonna post on the blog because that way it goes out to Facebook.
And everything.
Pages, but then I'll just share the post. Yeah, I think that'll work, right? Share the post in a group.
Aw, son of a. Oh no.
Yeah, I started using Hootsuite again, so I can be on both of my accounts at once, and now I've been super active on the MBWS Twitter.
It's pretty awesome.
Been following a bunch of people, had some conversations.
Oh, cool.
Getting some new followers.
If I didn't manage 156 other accounts on Hootsuite already.
It's like, hey, here's this thing that you do for a living and you probably hate, and can you do it?
I just don't want to do it personally. Oh, but hopefully if we hire a social media manager, fingers crossed next year, then I get to be like, oh, it's all yours, peeps. That'd be amazing. One can only hope.
So then what would you'd like be in charge of that person?
Yeah, that person would report to me.
So
I would do social media strategy.
Yeah. Because right now that's probably got to be like the bulk of our job. Your job, right? Like you spend a lot of time just dealing with that bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I do everything. Strategy, I have to do content curation, creation, posting, responding to posts.
How much
listening? I mean, it's massive. I'm so tired, like all the time. And I love it when people are like, I don't understand. I'm like, you sit down in front of a screen and listen to people complain and then write content and make sure that it's engaging. It's like it pulls at every nugget of my brain. So I got nothing. I got wrestling. That's what I got.
Wrestling's forward. All right, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so we got a lightning round this. Well, we got time. We can. You gotta be done by.
I gotta leave here by 6:30. Okay. So if we can wrap up by like 6:25, it'll be fine.
We'll be done by 6:20.
Sounds good.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Wait, did I start the YouTube? Yes, I did. Hello, YouTube. This is episode 38.
Woohoo.
Okay, I'm gonna count down.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to another episode of MBWS. I'm Brendan Creecy.
I'm Veronica Steele.
And man, say goodbye to John Cena.
Bye-bye, John Cena.
He's gonna be. I mean, he was so good.
He was great.
He crushed it. SNL, it was like the highest rated SNL in like a really long time.
So crazy.
This is what Vince has been trying to prevent happening for like the last 10 years. I mean, he basically, the more I thought about it, I was like, Vince, you actually got to commend Vince for keeping Cena to himself for as long as he did. Because, I mean, The Rock it only took like 2 years before he was just like halfway out the door, where he learned his lesson and he knew how to cater to Cena. He kind of built his company around him, made him feel wanted, and then he basically created the WWE Films division. So he's like, "You want to start movies? Here, I'll make these shitty movies.
We'll make movies."
Star in like the Marine and the other ones that he was in, and that kept him around a lot longer. But this was inevitable, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Do you think it was in his contract, like he could not go outside or
I
something
think they
public
probably
like that?
had like, I mean, yeah, that's definitely something that's in their contract. But everything has to get approved by Vince that they want to do, like as far as movies and all that stuff goes.
Yeah.
That's definitely in their contract. But I think Cena's probably at a point now where his contract is a lot more loose.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you want a little bit of Cena or no Cena at all.
Right.
And I think he genuinely still wants to wrestle. And especially if you look at his whole program that he had with The Rock a few years ago, where he basically, everything he ripped on The Rock for doing, which started off as a total shoot, like it was real. He ripped on The Rock for like leaving the company and doing stuff like SNL and all that stuff. And then they ended up building a whole program around it where they wrestled at WrestleMania twice. And now Cena's doing that exact stuff that The Rock did.
Yeah, right.
So but hey, I think I mean, his body's got to be, it's not what it was, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And if he can wrestle less dates and do the Hollywood thing and make a crazy amount of money.
And I personally like John Cena as an actor more than I like The Rock's acting capability. Like, I think John is really talented.
I like The Rock a lot. I think he's great. I
like him as a person. I've never really liked his acting.
I love him in the Fast and Furious movies. I loved him in Moana. It was amazing.
I haven't seen that, but that's,
oh my God,
it is
so
acting.
Good.
I'm not saying it's not, but it's different when it's voice acting over.
It's definitely I think they did like motion capture and because it's him. It is him.
That's cool.
And not motion capture, but they definitely modeled.
Yeah. Model, yeah.
But then I think he just exudes a charisma that I don't know. I mean, like you said, Cena's got it.
Yeah.
Definitely has it, and he was really great.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I mean, a lot of dumb. Not dumb, but just ignorant WWE wrestling fans are like, oh, whatever, we're better off without him, and I'm like, we'll see if you're going to be saying that when he is gone.
Yeah, no.
Because he makes everybody look better. He has a charisma that is just unequal. As JR just is saying in our chat room, Cena is one of the last true baby faces. Like,
what's a baby face?
I mean, a good guy. Like, super baby face.
Okay.
Super, like the kids selling those shirts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rallying behind him. I mean, that's the thing. Like right now, that's a very big void that's going to have to be filled by somebody in it. And I don't know who that is at this point right now because for one thing, Vince McMahon has spent the last 4 years trying to make Roman Reigns that person. Like ever since Roman Reigns debuted, like 3, so not for 4 years, but 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just not happening.
We're not fighting.
I mean, he's selling shirts. I guess the kids, but not in the way that Cena has, and not.
Yeah, not at that level.
John Cena has been at the top seriously since like 2003.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's gonna be, and this is kind of one of those things, and we'll see what happens.
The minute that you make it to like the level of SNL, you have broken through so many audiences.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous. Like the fact that he's still a hero and a winner among kids, 3 years old and up, and then to get all the way up until the SNL audience, which that age range is whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he really breaks it through. I think my theory on him is, and this is what makes him such a good wrestler, is he invests in the people that he's around. It's not about him. It's about the collective. And whatever he can bring to the table, he will bring it. He's a guarantee. And as long as everyone else does their part, everyone wins.
Yeah, exactly.
I really love that about him. And I've noticed that even in the show, like in Total Bellas and stuff, like that's basically his whole MO of what he lays out there of bring your game. I'm going to bring mine. It's not even a question. Yeah. And then we can do something. I really appreciate that.
And that's how he's been as a wrestler. He's never, because, yes. Because you look at the differences, people compare him to Hulk Hogan, but I would say Cena's a million times better than Hulk Hogan because a lot of being just from a politics-wise, Hogan, there were so many guys that Hogan kept down. Hogan kept down. They were just talking on Tights and Fights this week about Rick Rude was one of the greatest heels of all time. Right up there with Roddy Piper. He's called Ravishing Rick Rude. He was amazing. And Hogan didn't think he was on his level, wouldn't wrestle him. And because of that, Rick Rude basically hit the ceiling where he could not get to the main event. And he got frustrated and he quit. And then as soon as he went over to WCW, he immediately was put in the main event and he was great. Unfortunately, it wasn't a very good time to be in the main event of WCW because it was like the early 90s when their business was terrible. So, but in an alternate universe, guys like Rick Rude, Roddy Piper even, Macho Man Randy Savage, they could have been way bigger, made a lot more money. Ricky Steamboat, all these guys that Hogan wouldn't work with or didn't want to put over. And whereas John Cena, like he doesn't do that. Yeah. And there has been instances where, people have accused him of that, but like Ryback, for instance, trying to say, but I'm like, first of all, John Cena worked with you on the main event for multiple matches, and I'm sorry that you sucked. Like,
I was going to say, from what I can see, I'm just, okay.
It's not his fault.
No.
He did. He worked with everybody. And I get the prime example that I give is when John Cena became the U.S. champion and he had his open challenge, and because of him, he got guys like Kevin Owens, made Kevin Owens look like $1 million, brought in Sami Zayn, made Sami Zayn look like $1 million. Right. He had amazing matches with Cesaro, with everybody. And he throughout the last several years, and people don't give him enough credit.
I agree.
I watched him and Daniel Bryan have one of the best matches I've ever seen live at SummerSlam in 2014. It was great. It's not John Cena's fault that the WWE booking decided to immediately get the belt off of Bryan. That's not John Cena's fault. John Cena did everything he could. He brought Daniel Bryan up to the top there.
Yeah.
And I give him all the credit for that. And I think it's going to be a bummer when.
Well, now they're family, so.
Yeah. But it's he already is coming back to SmackDown at the end of the month, so that's exciting. And I think I think it's not going to be like The Rock where he's just gone. I think we'll see him on a pretty regular basis.
I agree.
Maybe part-time, definitely WrestleMania, some of the bigger things. I don't think he'll ever completely leave because I don't think that's.
I think this is home for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is great. I have so much, and again, it just gives me more respect for him because he's really giving credit where credit's due. This built his career. This made him John Cena. And not that he didn't work hard for it. I'm not saying that, but this is your launch pad. And I feel like there are so many athletes, performers, actors who just bite the hands that feed them. And I'm going, what is wrong with you?
Especially in wrestling.
And be proud where you came from. Just own it. Just in the age of the internet, you can't get away from it. You're not going to be able to deny it. So just own it. I love it. I'm excited. I thought his opening monologue was
Leslie
brilliant.
Jones continues to.
Dude, I love
Leslie's
her.
the best. She's so funny. She's so.
What's
She's
your
like
wrestling name? I'm
wrestling
Leslie
name.
Jones.
Bitch.
So awesome. And
Oh,
then
God.
the wobbler.
Yeah, all the like the entrance videos. Like,
So, it was fantastic. I
Um,
thought he did a great job.
I thought the Trump thing was hilarious.
Yes.
Like, when Trump looks in the mirror, he looks like
And his hands.
and his giant hand.
It was.
And the Karate Kid one, I thought that was my favorite.
Oh, that was
'Cause
hilarious.
Also, I'm like, SNL just proved that John Cena could be a bad guy. Because
Yep.
if he was like that super cocky dick bad guy,
Yeah.
you know, I'm mad. I think he could pull that off. Like, so, just like, hey, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I don't think it's a matter of him pulling it off. I think it's a matter of audiences not accepting it, like
Oh, dude, I loved it.
WWE
I
universe
don't
not
think that'll
accepting
ever
it.
happen.
No,
I think they,
but I thought it was
down the road.
brilliant.
Oh God, I loved it. I loved his Gronk impression was like perfect.
Yes.
If you've ever seen Rob Gronkowski, like that's him. Like that is exactly
I was so impressed with the way of how high pitched he can make his voice.
Yeah.
I was cracking up just that it was like how high he would go. And I just
great.
it was very, very good.
He tore it up.
He did.
So good.
And they did, honestly, they did such a good job writing scripts for him. I would have liked a little bit more variation away from the sports end of things, but I'm hoping that they'll have them back and then they can kind of branch out. So I think I was trying to be like a little gracious in the sense of, okay, it's the first time, whatever. But I think he would be so fun. I want to see him in like a full business suit and like, I don't know. It was great. Like,
and I think
it was just
a lot of good things, and that's going to be a big thing. And like Steve said too, like they got a huge spike in the ratings, so he's going to be back.
Oh, he has to. Yeah.
And like everybody had, greatest opponent of wrestling that I know. My co-host on Popsicles, Derek Armijo, even tweeted, "John Cena is really funny," and that to me was like, he even got Derek. Like,
that's awesome.
So I mean, there you go. That to me is a testimony.
Yeah. So that was a win. You can catch it on Hulu if you missed it. Anyone?
Speaking of Derek's hatred of wrestling, I still contend that. So Benson and I took him to. He went with us to the MWE show, the first MWE show we went to, Mayhem Wrestling Entertainment, RIP, and it was in Huntington Beach. Was it Huntington Beach? Yeah. And Derek was not comfortable at all. He was freaked out the whole time. We're sitting in the front row, and front row at an indie show means you can touch the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And he was really scared about that because the wrestlers would run into the guardrail. But then I swear to God, there was this wrestler called the Chef, and Derek marked out for the Chef. And I don't care what he says. He did. Benson saw it. Other people saw it. So I'm like, they got you. Even if it was just for 1 minute. They got you.
Yeah. I love it.
I saw him. Steve asked, how do you think he would do it at an NXT show? I think Derek would hate it. I think he really would. He's very judgmental of wrestling fans. He's very judgmental of everything, and he doesn't like, he's uncomfortable with the fact that we yell at the wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I think it's like being at a sports thing. Like, I loved it. Like, that's what because he was like, you and Benson just turned into animals. I'm like, that's what you do.
That's it. Yeah, it's like a sporting event. That's what makes it so much fun.
I'm like, he's like,
how's that any different than
you're booing guys? And well, he doesn't. I mean, he's not a sports person, so I think that's part of it. But he's like, you're booing guys.
Fine. How is it any different than heckling a comedian? Yeah. I mean, come on.
We're not supposed to heckle comedians.
We're all in this together.
But I think that's what makes it so unique is that audience participation. And it's not like because I think there is a line. I think there is a way to be respectful and disrespectful. But yeah, I'm gonna tell a heel that he sucks. I'm gonna tell a ref that he sucks. I'm gonna tell somebody they suck.
It's fun.
Yell things. I'm gonna chant things.
But you're not gonna say their real name.
No,
that's the line.
That's a shitty thing to do.
That's the line. We know where the line is.
Calling them by their real name or old gimmicks, I think that's also dumb.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Like people that are still yelling Husky Harris and Bray Wyatt need to get a fucking life. uh, and things like that, and also saying inappropriate comments towards the women. I've heard some. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, there was some idiots. I remember at an MWE show, there was some jackasses like yelling things at the valets, and I'm like, would you say that to their face?
Yeah.
Because you shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And everybody needs like for instance, we talked about this briefly on there's like people that are pretty critical of the Full Sail crowd of the NXT. They shoot at Full Sail University in Orlando. That's where they shoot NXT. They have like an arena, and it's like the same people that go to the people that go to that. It's like the same people, and they're kind of dicks. They booed TJ Perkins like the entire time. He was like, after he won the Cruiserweight Championship, which really pissed me off. There were a few fans when Andre Cien Almas, they freaking chanted "Build a Wall."
Oh,
they were chanting like racist shit.
So bad.
And I'm like, fuck.
I felt like the SmackDown audience this week was kind of rough. Like,
yeah, I don't like those.
Raw not so much, but SmackDown was just, I don't know. It was just kind of rough, and some
crowds are dead. Other crowds are just really smarky and aggressive.
I know, it's DC. I'm like, okay, DC. Just because you have to live with Trump doesn't mean that you have to take it out on WWE.
Yeah.
Like, it was very interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, it depends on where you're at, and I guess what mood they're in. But awesome. Well, I was a fan.
SNL as well as good. SNL was great.
I have a funny, like, random story.
Okay.
I was reading the Bible, like the good Christian that I am. But I read this scripture, and, I was having it read it to me out loud. And as soon as it read, I totally thought of somebody. So I'm going to read this piece of scripture, and I want you to tell me who you think of. I was talking about John the Baptist. So it says, now John wore a garment of camel's hair and a leather belt around his waist, and his food was locusts and wild honey. Matthew 3:4. Because right away, I totally got the image of Daniel Bryan. And I kept thinking, I'm like, oh, that's not good. Like, I was just kind of
he does seem like a very, that's like the
camel's hair, leather belt. And
I don't know.
So now so I've just been reading about John the Baptist, and I cannot help but picture Daniel Bryan as John the Baptist.
He's kind of like a wandering hippie kind of guy.
So that's what I'm doing in church. There you go. So that was kind of my random funny thought this week that I just had to share. So I say, if you're reading the Bible or anything else and you get a picture of a WWE star, you should share it with us.
Absolutely.
There we go.
All right, so
busy week.
Yeah. So what did you think of? What were some of your thoughts on Raw? I guess we can talk about Raw.
Yeah,
first.
Raw was fun. You know me and my Sammy, and
dude, holy shit, they had me going. I was all excited because I thought he was going to SmackDown, but and I want them to go to SmackDown because if as Steve points out, sucks to be Eva Marie because she just got trashed.
Good. As soon as he said Eva Marie, I'm like, it's not going to happen.
We're going to trade you for Eva Marie, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
So it was just. And I just hope he doesn't just get destroyed by Braun Strowman on Sunday.
I don't think so. So oh man, and I hope this feeling is right. I want it to be right. I'm like, ooh, are they giving Sammy a chance? Are they really building this up to like let him be a winner? And I kind of feel like they are. Don't know. But I have to say, this is like my biggest takeaway from Raw this week. Sammy was getting in. Oh no. What's his name's face?
Mick Foley.
Yeah, Mick Foley's face. And he kept saying, I want Braun Strowman. I want Braun. The way he was saying it, and because he said it over and over and over again, John comes in and he's like, what are you watching? I go, I know, it sounds like a sex act. Like he totally acted. It sounded like he was asking for like some dirty deed from Mick Foley. It was awesome. But I am all for it, and I believe in Sammy. I think he can do it. I think they should let him win. I think they are building up Braun to be bigger than what he is, and that Sammy. This is like what Mick said. Like he wanted to really know that Sammy could do this and get him mentally prepared.
I hope this is part of the big Sami Zayn push.
That's what I'm hoping.
I am ready.
I am
ready for
so
it.
ready.
I want it to happen.
Yep.
You know who was I mean, we saw a whole lot of the New Day because they wrestled 2 triple threat matches. It made me feel bad for Cesaro and Sheamus and then Gallows and Anderson because I feel like that kind of because they were like the number 1 contenders and then it was like, yeah, you guys suck, so we're bringing in these other guys. I don't know if it did them any favors.
I had that same thought going, okay, so now we're just making people up? Like,
yeah,
and now, like, you
Rollins
two are together.
Rollins and Reigns are former tag team champions, but
I know, but
they don't need to be in the tag team division also.
I know. It was so weird. I agree. I'm like, are we just
I almost thought they were going to
I thought like half the roster was suspended or something, and this is like, we need more people.
I almost thought Jarrett KO were going to win the belts, and I probably would have been fine with that. But, I mean, to continue that angle, it seems like they're continuing down the
Well, I like road. New Day, and I'm really stoked that they're the new well,
now they have the longest reigning
longest reigning
record. I do have a question for you. I don't know what they showed on the Hulu. Did you get to see the first cruiserweight match between Arya Daivari and Lindsay Dorado?
No.
Oh, man, so you missed Jack. Have you seen Jack Gallagher yet?
No.
He's the English ginger, pasty white cruiserweight, but he's awesome.
I think I've seen him online, but I have not seen him wrestle.
Well, that sucks. They keep cutting him out of the Hulu.
I know. Well, so that's why, because I'm like, wait, isn't Cruiserweight a part of this? And so I keep going online to look it up to see.
Well, so they had 2 Cruiserweight matches this week. It was the Daivari, Lindsay Dorado, and then Kendrick beat TJ Perkins.
Oh.
So that also happened.
Yeah.
Man. Well, you know what is on? I did find out that 205 Live is on Hulu. If you want to check that out, but I don't think you don't have any time.
I know, that's where it comes down to time.
I don't think anybody knows that it's on there because they don't advertise it. They keep saying it's a network exclusive show, but I was on Hulu browsing around in the WWE category, and there it is, 205 Live. So there you go. It's not even live. Well, this week I think it wasn't live. I think it was just this week it wasn't live because they did tribute for the troops after SmackDown.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
So they taped that, and then it's going to air tonight.
Right.
So I thought they were permanently moving 205 Live to Monday nights, which makes sense because the cruiserweights are on Raw. And they also, because I feel like right now it ruins the rhythm of Talking Smack has still been great, but the fact that they wait an hour to do it, I think it's weird. But it did allow them to do more scripted stuff now on Talking Smack. Like they had the Wyatts do a whole thing last week, which was actually pretty cool, which they wouldn't normally get to do if it was happening immediately after the show. Because you could see sometimes like the wrestlers are like running over there. They're like kind of out of breath. They're like, okay. And now I guess
now I'm here.
That. But it also kind of, you lose some of that spontaneity.
Right. Well, what I like about SmackDown is how they take that sports side of things. Like they really do follow like NFL, like how, the stats or whatever and that feeling, whereas Raw doesn't, which is fine. But that's what I like about SmackDown is that they're going that direction. So it would make sense for that show. Now, why am I blanking? I'm so sorry. I'm so tired. Talking Smack. It would make so much sense for it to be like continue, right after, just like they do in football or whatever, the commentary. So, things to work towards.
Former guest host on the show, Will Welsh, was actually at Raw, and he actually posted a picture in the MBWS group that's how I found out they were taping 205 Live because he posted a picture. He was up in the Comcast suite.
Wow.
I was very jealous. Because he's like, yeah, I got unlimited food and beverage. And I'm like, you better pace yourself. You got 3.5 hours. I would be drunk by like the first hour. If I had an open bar at a suite,
Right? Done.
Because that's a long haul. That's like 4 hours of wrestling. I've been to some of those. Like WrestleMania is like by the end you're just like, oh my gosh, I've been here for 8 hours.
It's crazy.
Speaking of that, I'm really excited because they did just announce the NXT Takeover on sale, and the pre-sale is tomorrow.
Ooh.
So I got to get on there because I got to get. Last year, it came down to the wire whether or not I was going to get to go to NXT Takeover WrestleMania.
I remember that.
And my friend Chris Hayner luckily saved me, but I don't want to have to like be that mooching guy. So I'm gonna get my ticket tomorrow morning.
Awesome.
I'm gonna be up 7 a.m. baby.
So where's it at?
This is good. It's at the same venue. They're doing like Raw. They're doing Raw, Hall of Fame, NXT, and SmackDown all in the same arena. So it's a big arena.
Cool.
So I think there'll be plenty of seats. I'm hoping I'll be able to get.
Oh, that setup crew is like, yes.
Well, that's the whole reason why they do that. So they're not just.
So great.
Yeah. So I'm excited because, like I said, I already got my. And then that way, now that Takeover is announced and they have the time, all the other shows can finally give their dates and times. Because right now on the Evolve website, I don't have times for anything, and it's really I'm not able to plan because I have to plan this down to the second so I can go to as many shows as possible for WrestleMania week. I have like seriously hour by hour breakdown. You should see my whole thing during WrestleMania.
You know what you need to do? You need to make like Brendo's wrestling calendar on Google, and we can share it so everyone can follow along. Like, this is where Brendo is now.
That's what I post my schedule every year.
Yes, heck yeah.
It's always like 5 pages long.
Well, now with Facebook Live, we can all join you.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I think I'm gonna break. I think I might be able to break my record of most shows during WrestleMania week this year.
Which will be what number?
There might. I think my record is 9.
Wow.
So I think I might be able to do 10 shows.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be awesome.
We'll see. We'll see if it all works out. I might die because NXT.
Well, especially if something like WrestleMania happens again and they don't let you in, and other people are gonna die. You're gonna kill them.
That's not happening again. Even if I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there super early, and I'm just gonna camp out. I don't know. I can't miss anything again. Although usually I'll probably do Access that Sunday morning because that's kind of been pretty good. But I don't know. This past year I did Access first thing.
You know what you need to create? Here's what we need. We need an Amazon list of things that wrestling fans need, like water canteen or a cell phone charger. I want to see that list of all of what Brendo's recommendation for.
I should make that so people can.
If you were doing, I would. Because I wouldn't know.
Because I wish I had him at WrestleMania this past year because my phone kept dying, so that's why I don't had hardly any good pictures. Right. And I finally got those charger packs for Comic-Con, and those are like the greatest invention ever.
Mm-hmm.
And now they used to be really expensive, but now they're like I got 2 for like $15.
Right.
So I'm glad.
Well, then there's the solar ones, if you have time outside or whatever, but. Yeah.
All that comes in handy. I'm definitely going to be bringing more. Sunscreen and water are a given, especially because that's how I made friends last year. Was handing out sunscreen. Right.
You know what's not going to be on that list? A selfie stick, because you can take your selfie stick and shove it up your.
I hate selfie sticks. Especially things like that when you're like in line with people and I get you by them.
When Disneyland banned selfie sticks, I was like, best day ever.
Comic-Con banned them immediately. They were
awesome.
We're not having those here because you can't have a bunch of people walking around with those things.
No, and they do. And you just, what is wrong with you? No selfie sticks.
I had a question for you about Raw.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on them sticking Bayley in this angle with Alicia Fox where they're fighting? Now why does Bayley have to fight over a guy with Alicia Fox?
So I haven't seen this. I heard about this, but I haven't seen this on Hulu, so I'm so confused.
They only showed the Alicia Fox, Cedric Alexander stuff has been happening on 205 Live.
Oh.
And also just in like WWE.com videos. And then I guess like Alicia thought, so Bayley hugged Cedric Alexander backstage, and Alicia Fox was like, "That's my man." And then she's like, and now they're fighting. And Bayley's like, "No, I don't." But like, I'm like, why don't need this? Bayley, first of all, why is it Bayley in the main? Why isn't Bayley?
I know.
Like, I'm really excited about the Iron Woman match.
Yeah.
But I'm
ready for it to be done.
This needs to be it. Because I need Bayley. I want Sasha to turn heel, and I want Sasha versus Bayley. That needs to happen as soon as possible.
I agree. Sasha's voice is actually really annoying to me, and the more I hear her talk in promos, I just and I'm like, you're lazy. You're a lazy speaker, and it's driving me nuts. And so, just for her speech, I need her to turn heel. I am with you. Right, I would love to see her against Bayley and get some fresh storyline.
Right now, and I think they're definitely going to be doing that because right now
they have to.
Sasha in the Sasha Charlotte feud, they're just doing the same exact stuff that Sasha and Bayley did in NXT, except Sasha is playing Bayley and Charlotte is playing Sasha, and Bayley's on the sidelines in these stupid angles. Which also Alicia Fox is better than that. I thought we were past this stupid stuff that just makes everybody look dumb.
Well, they did the Roadblock end of the line promo during SmackDown. I haven't laughed so hard. So I'm watching the promo, and they're building up Sasha and Charlotte and whatever, and they're the voiceovers, and that's where Sasha's voice was annoying the shit out of me. But the best was at the end. It's like Roadblock live this Sunday. Brought to you by Toys R Us. I start cracking up. I'm like, okay, right. You cannot. If I were Toys R Us, I'd be like, okay, we're fine sponsoring this and absolutely want our name associated, but we need to tone down the image because it's like fire and explosions and SWAT teams and Toys R Us, kids. Guns are serious.
Like that thing's like Hell in a Cell. Actually, less sneakers.
I know, it was so great. But the Toys R Us ad just kind of that was awesome. I get Tap Out. Tap Out's on there, which totally makes sense. And that kind of Tap Out has that rougher image. But then you have colorful
Tap Out,
Toys
so
R
they need they need real sponsors, and I'm glad
they
they're
really
getting them.
do. Oh man, it was just awesome. So that
Kay Jewelers.
Oh, right.
It's a big deal.
I know, but he bought it at Jer. And when you have the announcers, or not the announcers, oh my gosh, why can I not think of names tonight?
I don't know.
The ringside people who are
the ring announcer.
Yeah, no, not them. Anyway, the sideline guys who were just talking. The commentators. Thank you. When you have them going blow by blow, and it's all serious, and then in the middle of the match, they're brought to you by Kay Jewelers. I'm like, let me tell you what I'm not thinking about right now. It's not jewelry. Oh, hey, that reminds me, I'm gonna go buy a necklace. What? It's the most. Not only is it a weird ad, it's weird ad placement. I understand that they're paying to be spotlighted at certain. I know how it all works. But if I were Kay Jewelers or whatever, I'd be like, okay, we want to be during some portion of the match. I don't know. How about when I saw Alexa Bliss's belly button ring, and I started thinking about jewelry at that point? That would have been a great time.
Oh, well, you missed during the pay-per-view. They did this whole thing where they had a real couple. He surprised her.
Oh, right. Ring. Yes. Because Natalia helped him pick out a ring or whatever.
So
and helped. She showed up. Okay. He totally picked it up.
Things that I noticed on Raw were, one, the smile on Biggie's face when he realized that he was going to get away with saying that he was the third leg of New Day. And he's just,
right.
Everybody, and I was kind of oh shit, they did that. That happened. He's talking about his dick. Everybody.
They always
But that
just
look on his face,
push.
like I just got away with something. Like,
Well, for now, we don't know what's going to happen afterwards.
well, the audience didn't even really. I felt like it didn't even get that big of a reaction, and I'm like,
Yeah.
did that just go over everybody's head? Because does everybody
It
know he's
did.
talking about a dick?
They did it. That's awesome.
And then the other thing that happened, we were talking about. Oh yeah. So I had talked about this earlier this week, but I was watching Main Event, which I think I'm the only person that watches Main Event. Because every once in a while there's a good match, and sometimes they use it to like test things out. Not as much anymore. It used to be like sometimes you had no idea what the fuck was gonna happen on Main Event. They would do some weird shit. Like they for like a few weeks they had like Miz and Cody Rhodes on commentary, and it was amazing. And like other things like that, they do some good stuff on there. But now it's just pretty blah. And also half of it now is Raw recap, which is dumb. It used to be none of that. But in the preview picture, like on Hulu, Jinder Mahal is in. I'm like, oh, they screwed up. Jinder Mahal's not in WWE anymore. And then I watched it, and then I was like, oh yeah, they re-signed him. I forgot. He hasn't been on TV in like 6 months.
That's crazy.
And then, but I guess he's getting a little bit of a mini push, and I think maybe Vince remembered that he had Jinder Mahal.
Oh yeah.
Because then he popped up on Raw against Sami Zayn. At least they gave Sami Zayn a nice.
And that's so funny.
Match.
I was like, "Who is this person?" I had like no idea.
Jinder Mahal, baby.
But I was like, "All right." Well, then I'm thinking, so this person needs a bone, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, then like things like Darren Young now pops up on Main Event every once in a while. They teamed him up with Curtis Axel, and I was like, oh, that's sad. Guys, and they lost to the Shining Stars, and I'm like, oh boy.
Like I sometimes I feel like the writers are just like put names in a hat. Let's see what we get, and now we're gonna pick our winner.
Packard is still with Darren Young, still a big part of Darren Young, except I don't know what's going on with any of that. But yeah, I think, and it's crazy because I don't understand how you can have a full-time writing staff and have so many guys with like nothing to do. How does that happen? What's the point of having? I feel like
why is your roster so big?
And I don't understand how now that you have this writing staff. And there should be more angles and more cool storylines. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to sound like an old man, but I feel like back when there was no writers and there was just Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson and whoever, like I feel like there was times where I was way more into like even the lower card guys had real feuds and storylines. Yeah, you were invested in them, and I feel like now that's not really happening. And it all kind of, and I don't understand. It's the one thing about wrestling that I do not understand, and they've
gone backwards instead of improving.
I mean, you would think like having this huge writing staff and all these other guys that like how I don't understand.
Yeah, but at the same time, no, because when you put the creativity in the wrestlers' hands or give them that freedom a little. You'd be amazed at what they do. I mean, they're living, breathing this. They are the ones out there in front of the audience. They pick up those vibes and they'll go with wherever that takes them. Writers oftentimes are disconnected. And so that disconnection just, I don't know. I think it can ruin it, just like we're talking about. And it also hurts the creativity. They're just running these same loops, I feel. Break the loop. Get out of your loop, Westworld.
And I get it. Like, because there's huge risks involved putting untested people in the main event when you're dealing with, you've got network ratings to think about, you've got to draw crowds, and this is a 365 days a week. There is no off season. It's not like regular TV. You can't just have these guys disappear.
Right.
You got to give them something to do.
Well, and I get it. You have injuries. I mean, there's so many factors that just can pop up.
I think the biggest part of it is Vince McMahon is old and out of touch and stubborn, and so when he gets it in his head that something's not good, that's kind of it, you know?
Yeah.
And it sucks, but I feel like there is a light in the tunnel, and surprisingly, I never thought I would say this like a few years ago, but it's easily visible. And you look at NXT and what's going on there, where you do care about even the little small feuds, and they're developing characters, and that's all Triple H. And one day, it might be 20 years from now, because Vince might live to be 100. He's probably going to die while like with those headphones on,
Yes.
at freaking, like at WrestleMania 50 and or 60, who knows? And so it might be a long way from now, but I mean, at least
I want to know what a day in the life of Vince McMahon is like.
It's nonstop. The dude, from what I've read and heard, it sounds like he sleeps like 2 hours a day. He is just always working. He's always got something going on.
Yeah.
He's kind of nuts. He's kind of an insane person.
That's
And
so not.
He's in his 70s.
Well, now his wife is going to be getting grabbed by Trump, so
Oh, dear God.
he's going to be a busy guy.
Remind me about that.
Can't help it. It's really exciting. Can't wait.
The thing that is curious about the whole, so New Day just retained the tag titles, right?
Yeah, right.
And then they make a big deal about the New Day, and then they're not even on the fucking, they're not even on the Roadblock card.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Well, they had 2 fights, so that they need a break.
From a pay-per-view?
I
don't
know.
know. What does that say? I don't know. Does that say the pay-per-views don't matter? Does that say New Day doesn't matter? I don't know.
I don't know, but is this a big paper? You know how there's some bigger than others, so maybe they.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. Some of them aren't big as others, and they're trying to downplay some of these, but that just seems like counterintuitive to me. I don't know. Well, let's run down this lineup. I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
We'll run this down real quick. We'll go over some SmackDown stuff, and then we'll get out of here. I got a Instagram for you, too.
Okay, good.
All right, so starting off with the kickoff match, and you got Big Cass versus Rusev.
Oh, that's going to be good. I like their little tussle.
Yeah, they had a tussle. Lana and Rusev, like, taunted the fans, healed it up a bit.
You know that I'm a fan of Enzo and Cass, so.
Here's my problem, though, is simply, like, I still love Lana and Rusev.
I do, too. I know, but I was really torn, but I'm like, ooh.
I think they need to turn them face. Because I just want to love Lana and Rusev. And also, why can't they just leave Lana and Rusev's marriage alone? Like, why
I
can't
know.
I don't like it. But I also want to see Big Cass and Rusev fight, and I think that's
I think that's going to be great.
And I just, we'll see what happens there. I'm sure Enzo will get involved.
Chemistry. They really do a great job together.
And then you got, this is like designed for Veronica, because then you got Sami Zayn.
What?
Speaking of Braun Strowman, I hope this isn't a squash match. Sami, I guess it's a 10-minute match. I don't know what that means. Does that mean if Sami Zayn lasts 10 minutes, he wins? I don't know.
I was going to ask you that because I remember.
I don't get it either.
I'm like,
I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Well, we will find out together.
Then you've got Cruiserweight Champion Rich Swann, who won the title on 205 Live. We haven't talked about 205 Live at all because I usually watch it like on Friday or Saturday because there's too much fucking wrestling. Man.
There's so much wrestling.
And we'll get into that a little bit about because I've been trying to catch up on New Japan because their big show happens January 4th.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get caught up before that happens. I'm almost caught up. But so Rich Swann is the Cruiserweight Champion now, which is super exciting because I love Rich Swann. So he's taking on T.J. Perkins and Brian Kendrick in a triple threat match.
I like T.J. Perkins. Even just for the intro. So
I think Swann is going to win. They gotta solidify their champion.
Yeah, it needs to stay in place for a little while.
I think that'll be a great match. It's crazy because that match would be like a PWG main event match 3 or 4 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
And now it's on a WWE pay-per-view.
There you go.
So it's very exciting. And all 3 of those guys are guys I saw extensively in their indie careers, and now they're
cool.
Then you got Seth freaking Rollins against Sparkle Crotch himself. I think they're going to tear the house down.
I'm liking Seth. Seth is good on the mic.
They're both great on the mic.
Oh, they both are, totally. I already knew about
this is gonna
Jericho.
be-
I was surprised by Seth.
Seth can be great when he. I think they were doing too. I think they went too goofy with him, and I think he's dialing that back a little bit.
Yeah, he
I like that.
With the whole Kevin Owens beef.
Yeah.
Definitely bringing him a little bit more in the series now, which I liked. I liked him goofy. I think that's just a testament to him and how good he is, that he can totally swing both ways and it works. It's believable.
And we'll see where this goes storyline wise, because I think it seems like to me that they are building to Seth Rollins versus Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think that's because Triple H seems to only wrestle WrestleMania now. So I think that'll be his WrestleMania match. And I'm down with that.
I don't know how you could tell that, because he's only said, I want Triple H a million times.
Well,
I feel like somebody around a Christmas show needs to like get him like a Triple H like cardboard cutout that's all wrapped up or something.
Great. Here, you want a Triple H?
Here's your Triple H.
Speaking of Triple H, you got Universal Champion Kevin Owens against Roman Reigns. I think Triple H is going to get involved in this match.
You do?
Maybe to keep the title away from Roman. That's my theory.
Oh, I have a question about that.
But I don't want that to happen. I want Kevin Owens to look strong, and I feel like him getting assistance.
I think that's going to be the gimmick for this round. But I was going to ask, can one wrestler have two titles?
It's happened. It kind of creates some weird scenarios. Usually, so the first time that this happened, I mean, it's happened before, but in WWE, really the first major time it happened was Ultimate Warrior was Intercontinental Champion. He wrestled Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania for the WWF Championship, and he won, so he had both titles. But then what happens usually is that he'll surrender the lesser title. So so in that instance, Ultimate Warrior vacated the Intercontinental Championship, because then you can't because then it creates these weird scenarios where, because for instance at one point Seth Rollins beat John Cena for the U.S. Championship, so he was both champions, and then he defended both titles on the same card in separate matches. Mm-hmm. I was like, that creates a weird scenario, because it's like, if the guy that beat him for the U.S. title beats him, then it's like, hey, I just beat the world champion.
And
world champion. No, you're only U.S. champion. So that's why they usually will
keep it separate,
relinquish one of the titles, just because otherwise it creates weird scenarios.
Because I was thinking about that with Roman Reigns going. I know
I really don't think Roman's going to win this. I hope he doesn't, and I don't think he will, because it's just from a logistics standpoint. But I mean, he could. They could always pull a swerve.
I love that video. Was it Steve who posted it in our group?
The Pee Wee Herman one?
Yeah, Steven. Oh, yeah. No, the WWE superstars react to this.
Oh, yeah.
And watching without laughing or agreeing, Roman just like laughed every single time. I thought that was great. Love that video.
I'm just hoping. I mean, I think they'll have a good match. I think
so too.
People shit on Roman all the time, and I think that's
Roman's
unwarranted.
a good wrestler.
I think that's unwarranted.
Yeah, agreed. I like him.
Steve says Rusev was the worst in that video.
Oh, I know, right? I was proud of Lana. Way to go, Lana. You're a homegirl. Love it.
Speaking of the women, we do have the Iron Man match between Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair.
Right.
And what do you think's going to happen here? You think Sasha pulls it off?
Oh, it's
I want Sasha to win, and I want her to turn heel somehow in the process, or on Monday night again. We need to move on from this, so I hope that's what this is.
We do.
But I think they're going to tear it down. I think this is going to be, there's going to be multiple times where I'm going to think that one of these girls, there's going to be multiple times where I think they're both dead. Like you watched, it's so much intensity.
Yeah, it is.
In the ring together.
I'm sorry to say it. I'm not even like, I'm so over them. Like, seriously, fresh blood, please.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick on the SmackDown side, it seems like they're pushing off the Ellsworth AJ match for as long as they can.
Yeah.
because I mean, but I don't know. I mean, like, what's gonna happen? I posted some theories. I mean, my crazy pie in the sky situation is: what if Ellsworth gets out there and turns out to be a technical wizard, and that was his
Yeah.
he just tricked everybody?
Yes.
More likely to me is, I mean, there's a few different scenarios. One, Dean Dean helps him beat AJ, and then he gets his match with Ellsworth, and then he destroys him, and then he's the champion. That seems more likely.
Yeah.
The other scenario is AJ and Ellsworth, like lays down for AJ, and then they're buddies now. Or I mean, it could also be like, because I mean, like, I just don't see where the story goes if AJ destroys Ellsworth and then Ambrose destroys Ellsworth, and then is that
We're
just
back at where we started.
back to
Yeah.
where just everybody beating up Ellsworth, which
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll see where they go with that. I think it's funny right now. I like that first AJ was hurt, now Ellsworth is sick,
Yeah.
and he was sneezing in everybody's face. That was a pretty funny little bit.
Yeah, he did good on that.
Sanitizer, and like Dana Bryan's, well, normally I don't do this, so he's just pouring it on.
Yeah.
That was funny. And then you got the tag team battle royal that is a real bummer because it seemed like they were about to give the Hype Bros a big push, and then Zack Ryder might be seriously injured at the end of that match. He hurt his knee. He's getting an MRI, pending MRI results. It might not be a big deal. That's what they're saying. It could go either way. So we'll see. So
I did. That was my like one little note on SmackDown. I was like, "How is Monster Energy not tapped into the Hype Bros yet? Like that is like their sponsor. Like they need to be sponsored by Monster."
So that was. I almost thought for a second that the Ascension was going to win, and I was like, "Holy shit, what's happening?" Like,
right.
But hey, good on them for making all those tag teams look pretty strong, except the Vaudevillains who look like chumps. With Simon Gotch getting eliminated immediately.
I mean, I know.
And then
part of me
Mojo.
wondered. I'm like, I wonder if he was sick, and just as a favor, they're like, "And go."
That was one of the most brutal eliminations I've ever seen, where Jason Jordan just straight up threw Aiden English straight in the air, and he just had to belly flop on the floor.
I know.
Like, fuck.
I then replayed it. It was like, ooh.
That could not have been comfortable.
No, for anyone. It wasn't comfortable watching it.
Those front bumps where they just, no matter what happens, you're landing on your face.
Yeah.
Like, and that can't feel good.
Well, and to like, I'd be terrified to even practice that.
Like in this world of like, I mean, shit. Now that we know so much about concussions and everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a big bump. So I mean, like, it was an entertaining thing, and it seems like they further the rift between Heath Slater and Rhino.
Yep.
And that's a bummer. But I mean, Heath almost won that match single-handed. I would like to see Heath maybe get an Intercontinental title shot or something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
I think
he's
him and the
definitely
Miz
proving himself.
Program.
Yeah, the Miz is on fire. I'm enjoying it.
Fire.
Yeah.
Well,
Fire.
I was pretty like,
Sasha would say.
Like, oh shit, when he basically got in when he got in AJ's face, I was like, ooh, I like this.
Yeah.
Except Dolph Ziggler's I don't understand. I don't understand why they keep I get it. Give the ball to Ziggler, but then don't take it away from him immediately.
I know.
Like, it just keeps, because like,
I'm getting confused.
Yeah, because like, is he a Trump?
Are you here? Or are you not here? Like,
is he a loser or not? Like, he keeps losing, and then he wins a little bit, but then he loses again, and I'm like, this is not working for me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And I like Dolph. Oh man, his hair at the end of that match, I was like, yes, please. What conditioner are you using? Because the volume and the wave.
Yeah. Well, AJ's really got that hair game going on.
Oh, that was so funny.
Oh yeah, I love that they acknowledge it.
Yeah, totally. Smart.
But yeah, I just because I know Dolph is capable, because I went back. We were in the Tights and Fights group. We were going back because we were thinking about where did it all like go wrong with Dolph because WrestleMania 29. Dolph Ziggler was the Mr. Money in the Bank, and he was in a tag team match during WrestleMania, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
But then as Steve points out, his tweets, he goes wrong in his tweets. I agree there. But he will not shut up on Twitter about stupid shit, like real stupid shit.
Gosh.
Shit. But yeah. So WrestleMania 29, he has a tag match against Daniel Bryan and Kane. It was great. And then, so he was he had the case for the World Heavyweight title. He could cash in on. There was 2 belts at the time. I don't want to get into that. It's confusing.
Okay.
But Alberto Del Rio was defending at WrestleMania against Jack Swagger, which might give you an idea of how far Jack Swagger has fallen. That at one point he was challenging for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But during that match at WrestleMania, it was at the Giant Stadium in New Jersey, and the entire stadium was chanting for Ziggler to come out and cash in. I had never heard anything like that before.
Wow.
And they didn't, and I was like, oh, what are they doing? That seemed like the perfect time, but they were smart because then the next night Del Rio had another match, and he was like, he really got the crap beat out of him, but he won. And then at the end of that match, Dolph Ziggler's music
cash in.
It was one of the biggest pops I've ever heard on TV. Wow. You should go back and watch. Just type in YouTube. Awesome. Dolph Ziggler cashes in, and he cashed in, and he won the belt. And that right there, that was the tip. That was the top of the crest for Dolph Ziggler. Because then, sadly, very sadly, and I don't think this was, and it sucks because it wasn't his fault. He had a match with Jack Swagger, got a concussion, and then it seemed like WWE kind of punished him after that because once he got recovered from his concussion, he had to drop the belt, and then he never got back
up
from
there
that
again. Weird.
And that was 4 years ago. That's
so weird.
Yeah, because he was so hot. I can't even explain to you how. And I was like, this is it. He's the man now, and it didn't happen. And that's and I'm sure that bothers him too. And maybe that's where all that bitterness.
See, this is where we need somebody on the inside to give us the scoop on what happened. Well, we need a what happened section. What the hell happened?
He keeps getting in the doghouse because he complains publicly. He says dumb things to the media on Twitter, and then sometimes you can tell he's not even trying. And I don't know. Real quick, I just want to make a couple things about. We're going to be Steve, me, and Mark are going to NXT tomorrow, so we're talking about that. I'm really excited in Riverside. It is crazy to me that I keep seeing advertisements on Facebook, so I don't think the show is sold out, which is insane because it's like a super small venue. But I guess that's how much people from LA won't come out to Riverside.
To Riverside.
Yeah, I don't know. Another Wrestle Kingdom 11, basically the New Japan's version of WrestleMania, is happening in a couple weeks. Kenny Omega is headlining the show against the champion Okada. I'm super excited about that match. I'm excited about everything about it. The Tokyo Dome show, it's a really big deal. And then there's rumors going around. This is just rumors right now. That New Japan, the opening day, so one of their second biggest event is their G1 Climax tournament. I know it sounds sexy, but it's not. The round robin tournament with 25 guys, and it's basically like the biggest thing that they do, and it takes place over like 25 days.
Wow,
it's crazy. And there's rumors right now that the first few events, New Japan's looking to hold them in Long Beach, California.
That's exciting.
Bet your bottom fucking dollar I'll be there. It's in July, so as long as it's not during Comic-Con,
Okay.
But if it's during Comic-Con, I will always choose Comic-Con.
I bet they're gonna be smart and get it
They better be
around. There's no way. That's competing audiences. Like, come on.
You bet your fucking dollar if I can go see the G1 Climax, New Japan Stars, a full-on New Japan event. Because New Japan Stars, the only way you can see them over here in the United States is when they come wrestle at Ring of Honor, and that's great, but it's not the same. I want to see a real New Japan show, and it sounds like that might be fucking happening.
I love it.
And oh my god, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak out, and I want you to go too because I want you to see it because I think you might really like it.
All right, we'll have to see.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
So we got to wrap this up. I just wanted to give our Instagram this week. It is because the way I did it this week was I was just scrolling down my Instagram of the wrestlers that I follow, and I found my favorite one that we haven't talked about yet. And this is a South African gentleman who wrestles in Lucha Underground.
All right.
His name is Angelico, or Angelico, as Dario Cueto pronounces it. I just put the link in the chat, and it is Angelico Official.
Oh, I found him.
Name. And he's a very tall, handsome gentleman.
Oh.
He's taller than me. He's
eating pizza, and he's really hot.
He's super hot, right?
How tall is he?
He's like 6'6".
Oh, yeah.
He's super tall. And he's super awesome. He's jumped off the highest balcony you can jump off of at Lucha Underground multiple times. I've gotten to see him a bunch of times at Lucha Underground, and I got to see him at PWG. He's fucking awesome. And his Instagram great because he's one of those guys that also travels all over the world.
His abs have abs. His belly button has abs.
Oh yeah.
Like,
he's also crazy. He has beyond Ricochet level abs.
This is nut. I just posted. It's him like tightening his glove, and you can see his belly button has abs.
Yeah, he's great, and he's like a extreme sports guy, and he's awesome. I'm a big fan of his.
Does he have a woman?
I don't know. I don't. Judging from these pictures,
I volunteer.
I'm gonna say no. Question mark?
Blue eye. Oh, buddy.
Oh yeah. He's a hot dude.
How have I not been in wrestling before now?
This is why. This is why wrestling's great. It's guys like Angelico.
I just want to create a house where Enzo, Angelico,
wait till you hear him talk.
Can just come and crash. They can stay whenever they want.
Wait till you hear him talk because he has a great South African accent.
Yes,
and he's awesome. I'm a huge fan of Angelico. He is. He wrestles. He really hasn't wrestled in America much. He spent most of his time in AAA in Mexico, and because he's tag team champions with Jack Evans, who is also awesome. And
Instagram.
He does the craziest He does the craziest flips and jumps and knee strikes, and he does jujitsu, and it's fucking awesome.
This is awesome.
Yeah, he's great. So check that shit out.
Oh. Okay, I'm post. Yeah, in the chat. That's gonna be my new wallpaper background. That's all I need.
There you go. I found Veronica. Guy. Yeah, dude, he's a stud.
Dude. Yeah, I'm a fan. Ooh, I like his costume, his little suit. Buddy, you don't even need all that jazz. Let me tell you.
He's great.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan, and that's why. And you can check it out on his Instagram.
I'm gonna follow him.
I think that's gonna do it this week. Veronica, do you have any last comments?
No. Keep watching wrestling. Oh, how can people talk to us?
Oh yeah, go to mbwspod.com. Also, I've been super active on the Twitter lately, so hit us up on the Twitters. It's at MBWS Podcast.
Yeah.
Brendoman@gmail is where you can also email. But hit us up. We got a contact form on our website.
Yeah, you can come join our Facebook group.
There's links to that there. Hit up. We're always in a Facebook group posting.
We're a fun group.
Fun stuff, crazy stuff. Oh, Steve says there are less than 10 tickets left for NXT Riverside.
Whoa.
So By the time I post this, it's already over. So, but that's it. I'm probably not going to post this till Friday or Saturday just because I don't have time. I don't know when I would, because I'm going to be busy.
It happens.
I'm going on vacation.
Woohoo!
Are you doing? I guess your 1 year wedding anniversary is
coming up
right around the corner.
December. You wouldn't know that from the way I talk about Angelica. But yes, it is on the 31st. I'm excited.
So that gives you a great New Year. That's the best scenario because New Year's is always a letdown, but now it's like your anniversary every year and it will never be a letdown for you.
And John can't forget. So
what are you guys doing? Are you going to Disneyland or something?
No, I think we're gonna go to a friend's house and do like friends party something or other.
Fun.
But next year we want to go. For those of you who are local, there's a place called Brew, and it is fun. Awesome.
That's what we did right after your wedding, and that was really
so there's Brew. It's Brew Grill and Bar in Lake Forest, right off El Toro, off the 5. And they opened one up in Pasadena, Brew Pasadena. So next year, and they do a wonderful New Year's Eve party. It's really great. It's like full course, 3-course dinner.
Really good.
Dancing. So next year we want to do that, and then we'll have a hotel up there, and then we're going to do the Rose Parade. But since the Rose Parade this year is on a Monday instead of on the Sunday that the first lands on, it just wasn't worth us hanging around. So we're mellow this year. Next year we're going to live it up. So.
Well, I'm flying back from Portland on the 31st, weather permitting, because the weather out there is
It's been nuts. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I just have to, hopefully I'll get back here by the 3rd, because that's when I have to be back at work.
Good luck.
We'll see what happens. I'm excited to go hang out with my bro.
Yeah.
And his fiance. And I'm going to annoy him when I'm like, I can't talk right now. I got to watch wrestling, guys. Because that's probably going to happen. But we'll be back next week with that'll be our last episode for the year.
Yeah.
And then we'll be done. So thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to, watch wrestling, have fun. And for MBWS, I'm Brendan Creecy.
I'm Veronica Steele.
And we'll see you next time in the ring. Yay.
Woo-hoo.
You got to get going.
Save. I'll save this stuff. I'll get it to you tomorrow.
38.
What?
Thanks, Steve, for joining us, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Did you mute yourself?
Who?
Did I mute myself?
He's muted.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So since we have actual seats, I'm going to go straight to the merch booth, baby. Get that merch.
Love it. You call it merch.
I'll probably be there around 5-ish.
Get that merch.
Probably be there around 5-ish. Because I got to go there from work, and I get off work at 4. Hopefully it won't be rainy. It's supposed to be rainy tomorrow.
All right, I'm out.
See you guys later.
Happy Advent as I go to church. Bye.
Bye.